Mike, do you actually think that this is creating a climate of fear in which men are going to just ultimately become too afraid to even speak to a woman?
There is that risk, of course. But before this discussion, Darren, I spoke with Elizabeth Hobson, the young anti-feminist woman who was leader of this party for over a year. And in her email to me following that discussion, she wrote this, and this is with regard to down-blousing. Another day, another absurd feminist grievance. Women are important members of our society, and we should be encouraged to flourish. Please encourage us by understanding that we can cope with the day-to-day hurly-burly of being an individual in contact with other individuals all by ourselves. Please stop drilling these messages into us that we're victims who need the authorities to regulate our interactions. We grow when we're challenged to. Let us grow.
Okay.
We should not tie up the police and solicitors and courts with ridiculous cases about down-blousing and wolf whistling.
Amy Nickell, do you agree with those sentiments? Do you think actually the two Conservative leadership candidates are just way off the mark here? You're creating extra burdens for the police and these measures aren't necessary?
I think what your other guest has just said there is exactly the problem. We've completely normalised behaviour that is damaging and toxic and only ever happens to women. We're talking about horrible incidences that women have to take as part of their daily lived experience, and that's the problem. And once again, this whole debate has been completely trivialised. This isn't about a little wolf whistle here and there. This is about street harassment. This is about serial street harassment. And Liz Truss wasn't saying we're going to criminalise it and anyone who even looks at a woman gets handcuffs taken off and given the death penalty. This is about taking incidences and making a record, and then you can see repeat offenders and you can see patterns starting to emerge, because the serious harm that we all agree that we want dealt with is built upon these little incidences. The killer of Sarah Everard, Wayne Couzens, was known to be a indecent exposure and flasher, and this was never taken particularly seriously and it was never recorded. If it had been recorded, we could have seen the pattern and we could have prevented perhaps what happened in the end. It's all about prevention, and this is tried and tested. So in 2016, Nottinghamshire Police did a pilot, at the time trivialised by the likes of yourselves, called was just banning wolf whistling. It actually was really, really effective, and reports went up by 25%, and women said that they felt really safe, and it's worked out incredibly well.
So Mike